Red Dead Redemption 2 is a game of many oddities. I mean, just look at the amount of mysteries and theories that revolve around this game. It's actually pretty crazy. I made a video a while back delving into a couple of these oddities, or as I like to call them, myths. To be honest, that was probably some of the most fun I've ever had making a video, so I decided to make a part 2. This time it'll be a little different though. Instead of using a random wheel spinner to pick the myths for me, I decided to choose 10 of the best myths that I was able to come by. I, for one, hate filler content, so I thought it'd be the greatest way to go at things. Also, before I start the video, if you haven't already, make sure to like and subscribe. It would really help out the channel and only takes about a second or two, so even better. With all of that out of the way, let's get into the video. We're gonna be starting off with a good one, which is shopkeepers allegedly being invincible. Now, I don't know about you, but that seems rather unbelievable, but I guess we're about to find out. When I met face to face with my personal shopkeeper of choice, I greeted him with a swift piece of lead and a sprinkle of arson. I was then greeted by a couple of angry police officers, so I decided to skedaddle and actually ended up escaping. Just kidding. Arthur has the same amount of stamina as a wheelchair-bound dying hospital patient, so my skedaddling did nothing more than prolong my inevitable fate. Hey, so remember how I blew the shopkeeper's head off? Yeah, so it turns out that all bro needed to recover was a few days, a jug of whiskey, and a bandage or two. This cheeky little lowlife may think I'm done with him, but oh no, I've only just begun. Let's see how he likes a taste of this. Acting tough really isn't my strong suit, especially when it comes to this game. Well, when all else fails, I can always rely on my handy-dandy rampage trainer. A little bit of this, a teensy bit of that, and behold, the most powerful gun in the entire world is now in my hands. What better way to test it out than on this poor old shopkeeper? Let's see how you recover from this one, buddy boy. My efforts were completely useless, so I guess that means that this myth is confirmed. You know how I said that we were starting off strong with the first myth? Well, believe it or not, we're getting even stronger with this next one. Can you believe it? If you said no to that, then you'd be absolutely right, because I was blatantly lying. The next myth we'll be going over is if ice really is unbreakable. According to the most common of all common sense, you should be able to break ice. But as we all know from the last myth we just tested, common sense really isn't this game's strong suit. Nonetheless, once I found a nice patch of ice, I took my revolver out and let all hell loose. Not that it mattered, because it hardly made a dent. Okay, well, since that didn't work, I guess I'm just gonna have to up my arsenal. A shotgun? Nope. Some dynamite? Nada. A couple Molotov cocktails? Nah. A heavy artillery gun, for crying out loud. Not even close. If none of those things could break the ice, I'm pretty sure nothing else will, so this myth is confirmed. If you've ever played the original Red Dead Redemption before, you'd know that Mexico plays into the story quite a bit. Rockstar was originally going to add Mexico to this game, but due to time constraints, it got cut. There are still a couple parts of Mexico left over in an inaccessible part of the map, which just so happens to play into this next myth. Allegedly, you're able to get to Mexico one way or another. I'm not sure how true this is, but I have a couple ideas on how to test it out. Swimming to the other side obviously wouldn't work, since John can't swim to save his life. Quite literally. However, there is a little workaround that could potentially get me to the other side. Meet my test subject of the day. Animal cruelty who? Sadly, the only thing this plan accomplished was ending my life. Yet, somehow not my horses? Karma really is a bitch, and no, that is not meant to be a JoJo Siwa reference. Even I wouldn't go that low. In the first myth-busting video I made, I tested something known as the bridge glitch. If you don't know what the bridge glitch is, it's basically just a glitch that lets you fly into orbit. I was thinking that if I got it at the right angle, I may just be able to get to Mexico. Well, there's only one way to find out, so let's begin. One attempt turned into 2 attempts, turned into 10 attempts, turned into even more. Just as I was going to give up, I decided to try it one last time, and what do you know, it actually seemed really promising this time. 2 long and tedious minutes of falling later, I just so happened to land on the literal brink of Mexico, which means that this myth is confirmed. Man, talk about luck. There's a piece of equipment not many people use in this game. The piece of equipment I'm referring to is none other than the camera. Allegedly, NPCs will get mad if you take pictures of them, which does make quite a bit of sense, but let's find out for ourselves. Once I found a group of unsuspecting NPCs, I took my camera out and snapped a picture of them. They seemed to not give the slightest care in the world, but maybe that's just a glitch or something, so I decided to snap a couple more pictures. Still, even after all of that, not one person seemed to care, so I guess that means that this myth is busted. Man, all I'm saying is that the Feet Finder marketplace is going to be booming with this newfound revelation. I might as well get in while I still can, if you know what I mean. Have you ever just wanted to get in a very worrying and quite unstable boat and see if you could survive going down a waterfall? Of course you have, and boy, do I have some fantastic news for you. Allegedly, you're able to survive going off a waterfall if you're in a boat. I guess there's only one way to find out, so let's get to it. There are many waterfalls in this game, some big and some small. Obviously, I decided to play it safe, and it actually worked out quite well, which means that this myth is confirmed. There just so happened to be an even bigger waterfall right after the one I just went down, and since I was feeling so confident, I decided to give it a try. Man, what could go wrong? Everything, apparently. My ego really does get the best of me sometimes, but hey, no regrets, baby. Myth number 6, or should I say 666, has something to do with being able to find the devil himself. I'm really not so sure about how true this myth will turn out to be. I mean, seriously, what purpose does he have lurking around the world of Red Dead Redemption 2? I guess there's only one way to find out, so let's get to it. According to sources unknown, Lucifer should be hiding somewhere in this cave. This whole setup totally isn't sketchy at all. Before entering the cave, I decided to be smart and take out my handy-dandy torch. Safety first is a motto I always try to live by. I mean, just look at all of these wonderful examples. Yeah, never mind. Fast forward about 5 minutes, and I stumbled across some guy claiming to be the devil. That was until he decided to come out from his hidey hole, and he actually just turned out to be some waste of oxygen who wants to be the devil.
Okay, I'm not the devil, but I want to be. I want to be. And that's even worse.
I guess that means that this myth is busted. It's common knowledge that being drunk can sometimes make you act pretty stupid, to the point of basically no one taking you seriously. So, hypothetically, if I were to get insanely drunk in this game, would I be able to rob someone? Well, this up-and-coming myth states that you're actually unable to rob people while drunk. Being the professional mythbuster that I am, I had to test this out for myself. Once I arrived at a bar, I started guzzling down some beer. 1 turned into 3, and 3 turned into 6, until I was quite literally unable to walk straight. My next step was to go up to some unsuspecting NPC and rob them dirty. That didn't exactly go as I intended, so I decided to try once more. Man, if this keeps going on, I'm gonna have to change the title of this video to I Became an Alcoholic in Red Dead Redemption 2. Like, come on now. Nonetheless, once I got to yet another absurd level of drunkenness, I went up to an NPC and tried to empty their pockets. Unlike last time, all they did was laugh in my face, which was honestly quite insulting. At least the last guy was intimidated enough to fight me. These guys don't even have an ounce of fear in their systems. Well, with all of that humiliation out of the way, I can safely say that this myth is confirmed, but at what cost? A couple myths ago, we discovered that ice is unbreakable. But what about hot air balloons? According to this next myth, they are. I know it might seem like a weird comparison, but I had to find a way to transition into this myth somehow, so cut me some slack. Like seriously, it was around 3 in the morning when I was writing this part of the script, so I've got my reasons for the somewhat lazy writing. Rant aside, the first thing I tried doing was shooting it with my revolver. Considering how I started out with over 50 bullets and ended with 0, it's definitely a wise assumption that this method will not work anytime soon. Next in line was a handful of dynamite. It honestly looked like it was working at first, but in the end it turns out to have done absolutely nothing. My last resort was some Molotov cocktails. I mean, how in the world would these not tear apart the hot air balloon? I mean, I don't know about you guys, but this hot air balloon looks pretty jacked up, so I'm gonna say that this myth is busted. I became the most wanted man in Red Dead Redemption 2. In my opinion, it's definitely one of my best videos. I mean, a lot of you guys probably found out about my channel through it, so how could it not be? My objective in the video was quite simple: get the maximum bounty in each state. At the time of making the video, I thought the maximum bounty was $1,500, but according to the comments section, I guess not. A lot of people were saying that they got over a $1,500 bounty, which leads me into the next myth. Are they right or are they wrong? Well, let's see. What better place to rack up a bounty than Saint Denis? This guy seems to be having an alright day. Might as well make it his last. I mean, hey, at least I saved him from inevitably contracting lung cancer. You always gotta look on the bright side of things. Am I right or am I right? I really don't know if this is something to brag about or not, but it honestly doesn't take me that long to reach a $1,500 bounty. You know what they say, time flies when you're having fun. In all honesty though, I think the last time I heard that phrase was when my grandma said it, and she's been dead for about 2 years. Sorry, I have the tendency to be really blunt about stuff that I have no business being blunt about, but it really does put stuff into perspective. Time not only flies when you're having fun, it just flies in general. If this keeps up, sooner or later I'll be going on about my golden years, like, back in my day, I used to rule the YouTube algorithm. You seriously should have seen me in my prime, kiddo. What scares me the most about all of this is that I can genuinely see myself doing that unironically. Goodness gracious, what have I become? Anyway, I've been ranting on long enough to make a clear assumption that my bounty is not going to go over $1,500. Now, I'm not saying those people are wrong necessarily. I don't doubt they got over a $1,500 bounty. It just must have been a glitch or something. So here we are, the final myth of the video. Making this video has honestly been a blast, so I just wanted to thank you all for watching. I seriously appreciate it. I guess we might as well go out with a bang, so for this final myth, I'm going to answer a question that basically everyone has been wondering since the beginning of time. That being none other than if John and Arthur have a berry bush or not. You know what I mean, the coin purse, the family jewels, the cojones. Do they have them?
Stop it. Get some help.
Well, according to this myth, they don't, and I hate to say it, but there really is only one way to find out. With the help of my handy-dandy rampage trainer, I may or may not be able to strip them butt naked. I guess we'll start off with John. In 3, 2, 1, boom! Well, this is awkward. He has more of a mangina going on, but I don't even know if I'd go as far as to say that. I mean, he literally has nothing. Maybe Arthur will turn out to be different. Yeah, there seems to be no distinguishable difference between the two, unless I'm missing something, of course. Be my guest to further inspect these two birthday suit connoisseurs. I feel like I've spent enough time testing this myth to make a safe yet hasty assumption of it being confirmed, so I'm just gonna go with that. Well everyone, it's the end of the video. Yeah, I mean, going back to what I said, making this video has honestly been a blast, and I appreciate each and every one of you for watching. Did you love it? Did you hate it? Did you moderately despise it, yet still get a teensy bit of enjoyment out of it? Well, let me know in the comments. Also, while you're down there, you might as well like and subscribe. I mean, you wouldn't want to miss my next video, now would you? But yeah, that's it from me. Peace.